This rat cult spreads through Gotham like a plague. I have to stop it, even if it consumes me.
The corrupt system has failed you. Are you not angry? Fight back!
It's the freaking bat!
We aren't afraid of you!
The bat dies tonight!
Jim, this Rat King could be anywhere. A face in the crowd, a foot soldier in his own fanatical mob. So how in the hell do we find him?
Targets are all city employees, civil servants, public officials.
You could have been more than a symbol. You could have been a god.
Look out!
If you don't calm down, someone's going to die.
Alfred, we tried it your way, now we do it mine.
Something big's going down tonight. We repress our rage, our fears. It feeds the shadow deep inside us.
You're everything that's wrong with Gotham! I'm done holding back! I can bring the Rat King to you.
So what did you think of that trailer? That was pretty sick, wasn't it? Now, I'm just gonna say this outright, okay? When we got hands on Arkham VR back in, I think it was 2016, that game was just so meh. It played stiff, it looked weird, it felt like a VR game. This feels like Arkham. It is an Arkham first-person viewed game, but it feels like Arkham, you know what I'm saying? It feels smooth. It just, oh my gosh, I'm excited. Ryan and company, I mean, you guys just, whoa, I'm actually impressed. And this is coming from someone who doesn't like VR games. Like, I avoid VR games like the plague, and I am considering not using my wife as a proxy in order to play this game for myself. But still, the idea of, you know, putting the MetaQuest 3 on my head, you know, it makes me super nervous. But that's me. I just don't like VR. I had a very bad experience with the Nintendo VR system in the 90s, the Virtual Boy, and some of the earlier VR machines in the 2000s. And I get motion sick and I don't like it. But anyway, yeah, I was freaking out quite a bit because literally I'm here, I'm watching the gameplay of the combat. And I remember I've spoken to Ryan, one of the directors of the game, and he told me that combat would be almost as fluid as free flow combat in Arkham. And I was like, well, how in the world can you do that if it's in a first person view? And Ryan and company, I'm impressed. I mean, I haven't gotten hands on yet. The game could still be, you know, kind of meh, but from what I'm seeing, it looks pretty good. And I'm pretty picky. Like most people can tell you, I'm very biased. And if I don't like something right off the bat, even if I don't play it first, I always give my opinion whether or not I think it's going to be bad or good. And from what I'm seeing, I mean, it looks pretty cool. It really does. Now, keep in mind, I'm recording this at like 4 in the morning, so I am barely coherent enough, but I have more games, coverage to do, so I'm just doing the best I can, alright? So, let's talk about some of the things that I noticed that you can do in the game, and I might be wrong. Again, this is just based on what I'm seeing, but one of the joys of the Arkham games is you were able to incorporate using gadgets on the fly when in combat. So everybody's playstyle would be different. One person would love to throw batarangs and then add a little electricity goodness, or maybe a freeze grenade and then a back grapple. You had options in combat, and you weren't like stuck to formula. You didn't have to be like, okay, well, I can only punch here and then if I punch and I do this, maybe I'll throw a batarang or whatever. No, you had a arsenal at your fingertips and you felt like Batman. Now again, I could be mistaken, but I believe in the trailer it looked like Batman was able to go from punching to throwing a batarang to using other type of gadgets, and I think that is awesome. Also, it didn't look shaky at all when the dude turned around in order to fight a guy who was coming after him. You know, it was highlighted a little bit, like they had a prompt before you did some punches, but it still felt like you were doing beatdowns and using the hammer of justice, so, I mean, I don't really have any problems with that. Also, I like how the game looks when you're in first-person mode and you're solving, like, mysteries and stuff like that, looking for hidden rooms. So, I mean, that also has me kind of excited. You can definitely tell it's a VR game because when Batman opened up a wall and he opens up his bat suit, you can see objects go flying, you know, because it's a VR game. It's not going to be as great quality like we had with some of the other Arkham games or just console games in general. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the art style of the game. It looks okay, and they're kind of trying to go with an Arkham Origins like aesthetic, but it's a VR game, so they don't really have the technology to make the models quite look as good as they do in the CGI trailers. So the trailers look great. We're seeing actual gameplay of what the character models look like, and they're kind of cartoony mixed with Arkham style. And again, it's just a little nitpick. I'm not like dumping on the game or anything. Like, I'm excited about it. The story sounds fantastic. I love the banter between Alfred and Batman that we heard, because again, this takes place after the events of Arkham Origins. We're not going to mention Blackgate because we don't know if that's still canon. Please let that not be canon. And we also get to see that Batman's going to interact with the likes of Jonathan Crane, and I think that dude was Lockup, who we saw in the trailer. A different take on Lockup, but it still looks like the character Lockup, a police officer or a correctional facility officer that goes bad and goes crazy trying to take out criminals, and it's up to Batman to take them down. But again, it's 4 in the morning, so I don't know if I'm like got this all correct or not. I like how the back grapple works in the trailer from what we've seen. And again, this is gameplay. This is not a cutscene. You're actually witnessing gameplay from Gamescom, and that is dope. So that makes me happy. And personally, I wish it was October right now because I want to play the game. That's how interested I am. And again, I'm incredibly biased when it comes to Arkham games. I mean, literally look at this channel. I have so many viral Arkham videos going back well past a decade, probably longer. I don't want to know because, again, I'm mostly here. So when it comes to math, you're going to make my brain like pause, like dial-up internet. So let's not worry about that, shall we? So yeah, combat looks great. I like the story because we got a little bit of the story tease. I love the banter between Alfred and Batman. I probably already said that, but that's always a high selling point to me, is you get to see how Batman and Alfred kind of work. I really like that you can do takedowns. So we did see in the trailer that Batman can utilize a few takedowns. We saw one on top of a gargoyle, so a vantage takedown. And then we saw one where Batman snuck up behind somebody and did a sleeper hold. So that is awesome. We also got to see how the glide works in the game, and, you know, I am really impressed. I mean, these are the same developers behind that Iron Man VR game that everybody told me was all the rage like several years ago, but I never got into it because, you know, I avoid VR like the plague. I actually have a copy of the Iron Man game from the developer who made this game, so maybe I'll look at it. I just haven't had a chance to actually do stuff, so, you know, one of these days, hopefully before this comes out in October. And they did announce a release date, sort of. They gave us a window of October, so that's cool. October's a pretty stacked month, though, so I'm definitely going to do this game. It's just going to be probably done really late at night. I don't see how live streaming would be an option for this type of game, though. I'm pretty sure it will just be uploads, because I'll probably get really dizzy playing this, and I don't want to, you know, end up causing a scene during one of my live streams. That wouldn't be good. But all in all, yeah, I'm impressed. I like the different Easter eggs that we saw with Jonathan Crane and Harley Quinn. And I really believe that dude's supposed to be Lockup from the animated series. So I hope he is, because it doesn't look like he's Electrocutioner, considering that dude died in Arkham Origins. And I really hope they fill in the gap a little bit from Arkham Origins too. That would be pretty awesome. But yeah, other than that, you know, I'm sold. I was sold when we saw the cool gameplay, like story trailer and stuff like that. But, you know, now that we actually see how both combat and stealth takedowns and gliding and, you know, investigations and stuff, I mean, I'm sold. I think that this is going to be a great Arkham game. I know some people are kind of upset that it's only on Meta, but I can kind of shed some light on that. Meta paid Warner Brothers to have it be exclusive, so the fact that this was literally made by the Facebook people, which are the people who are Meta, if you didn't know that, they're the ones who foot the bill for the game, and they did all the stuff for the MetaQuest 3, so I don't see this game ever releasing to other VR systems, and I know that might upset you, but I mean, literally, they paid a lot to WB to license this, so they're going to make use of their hardware to the fullest. And I mean, I don't know a lot about VR, but I think that this game probably, since it was made for the ground up on the Quest 3, might not, you know, work the same way on other VR systems, so that could be also why they're keeping it exclusive. But again, VR is not my wheelhouse, so feel free to correct me. I know you guys have done that before. Totally cool with it, because I don't play VR. I don't research VR. I don't like VR. The only reason I'm going to do VR is because of this game. And I'm not going to make a habit of it, okay? But the Batman game, it has me very, very interested. Now I want to hear from you. How do you guys feel about the gameplay trailer for Batman Arkham Shadow? Are you interested? Are you not interested? Are you still upset that this is not a console Arkham game? Or do you think it actually has some merit and it might actually be a decent game? Let me know in the comments section below. So I got more stuff to do with Gamescom stuff, so I'm gonna bounce. Thank you guys for watching. Keep it locked here for more news on anything Arkham Shadow and Batman in general in video game, movies, and comics when they don't suck. Later, Gothamites.